Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson, and we're going to continue our studies. This time we are talking about inequalities, multi-step inequalities. So here are the steps. Step 1, combine like terms. Step 2, use the additive inverse to bring all numbers to one side. Step 3, use the additive inverse to bring variables to the other side and isolate the variable. Step 4, remember to reverse the comparison symbol when you multiply or divide by a negative number. So here's our first example. Here we are solving this equality, 4x minus 5x greater than 72 minus 9x. So we want to get all of the terms together, so let's do that. We have 4x minus 5x. That gives us a negative 1x. So we're getting that together, and we have 72 minus 9x. So let's get the 9x to the other side by using the additive inverse, which is the opposite of 9x minus 9x, which is plus 9x. Bring that over to the 1x, and the signs are different, so we subtract. That'll give us 9 minus 1, which is 8. And we get the x. We choose the sign of the 9 because it is larger. So we get 8x. We have our comparison symbol, which is greater than 72. Bring that down. Over here we had the 9x canceling each other out. So let's cancel them out. Now let's solve this for x. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. The 8's will cancel out, leaving us with the x and the greater than symbol, 9. So x is greater than 9. Notice we divided by a positive number, so that does not change the symbol. But when you divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, you have to reverse the comparison symbol. So our answer would be x is greater than 9. So I hope you got that one with no problem. Let's give you one to try. Here's one for you. 14 plus 14x less than 7x. So give that a try yourself. See if you can get it. If you're having problems, rewatch the video. Write down your questions. Bring them in. I'll be glad to solve them. All right, this one's a little bit different. We want to solve it, but we want to graph the inequality as well. So we have 2x is less than x minus 1. So let us see. First step, let's gather all the terms, variables together. So we got an x over here and a 2x over here. So let's just bring this little 1x over here. What that does is gives us a little 1 that we don't have to write, but I'll write it to show you the subtraction. 2 minus 1, x is just one little x, and I don't write the 1. And these x's over here canceled out, and we have a negative 1. So our answer is going to be x is less than 1. Notice we didn't have to divide by anything, so we don't have to reverse the comparison symbol. So now let us graph on the number line. Notice the number line doesn't have any numbers. So since it doesn't have any numbers, I'll put a 0 right here in the middle. And over here, I'll put a positive 1. Positive 2, and a positive 3. We can go on to positive infinity, going that way, and on this side, I'll go with a negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, all the way going down this way to negative infinity. So now, if you remember, when we use these two symbols, less than or greater than, you use an open circle to graph. When you use the less than or equal to symbol, or greater than or equal to symbol, you use a colored in circle to graph. So since I'm using this less than symbol, I'm going to go right on top of the 1, put an open circle, and then I'm pointing in this direction. All these numbers going this way are less than negative 1. So there is my graph of this inequality. So I hope you understood it. It's good to remember this. This is very important in graphing. So make sure you know which circle to use when you're using which symbol. Here's one for you to try. Solve and graph the inequalities. I notice we have parenthesis there. So, and there's a -5, so be careful. So see if you can graph that. So check your understanding. I hope you understand what's going on so far. If you don't, rewatch the video and bring in your questions tomorrow. I'll be glad to solve them. Here's one more for you, and I'll start it off a little bit for you. So let's get our x's together. So I'm going to bring this positive x over to here. And what that does is it cancels out these sets of x's, and I have a -3x plus a -1x, and I'll put the 1 here to help you remember. So we're combining like terms so that it gives us a -4x. So we still have a 4. Let's bring that down. We have our comparison symbol. We have 16 left. Now all we have to do is bring the 4 over to this side. So 16 minus 4 from both sides. That way it'll cancel out the 4's over here, leaving us with a -4x. And we have 16 minus 4 is 12. And we still have our comparison symbol of this, greater than or equal to. Now notice we're dividing by -4. And when we divide by -4, if you remember what I said a little earlier on step 4 of the steps, you have to change the comparison symbol in its reverse order. So instead of having greater than or equal to, you're going to have less than or equal to. So there is your answer. X less than or equal to -3. So I hope we got that right. X less than or equal to -3. So remember, make sure you reverse that symbol because we divided by a negative number. And so I'm going to leave the graphing to you. Here's your graph down there. So we'll check that tomorrow in class. So graph it. So here's another one for you. Try to solve this inequality. So check your understanding. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please write them down. This is Dr. Robinson signing off at this time. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.